Let me switch part.
Yes, sir.
World's greatest rugby podcast. How are you, Chris?
Yeah, very well. Happy quarters. How are you?
Hey, I I I almost lost the shirt off my back. There was that feeling that the All Blacks were gonna win, but it it the feeling wasn't strong enough. It wasn't strong enough for me. Well, I wouldn't say win, but maybe I could have put them ahead at halftime.
Yeah, you would have expected better from New Zealand, to be honest. It was disappointing. It left a lot to be desired, their performance, the way they look like they don't have direction. But at the same time, we must also credit the Boks because they didn't allow them to play.
Yeah,
the days where you're only as
that's
good
true.
as your opposition allows you, and they didn't allow them. From the first minute, they just suffocated them, trapped them in their own 22, and they just said, "Look, not here, not here."
Yeah, my biggest concerns coming into this game was I didn't think we were dynamic enough against Wales. It looked
Mm,
a bit lethargic. It looked guys just weren't firing, and that spark seemed to be there on the day.
yeah, yeah, it definitely was there, and I think even what you see is also is just that the way the Bucks are actually playing tempo. I was surprised actually with that tactic of quick line outs whenever the opportunity was there, and just to keep on coming at them. And I think that worked a treat because it bamboozled the All Blacks because it's something that they're not used to seeing from the box, and I think it threw them off big time.
Yeah, if we go right to the start of it, Mbombela, great atmosphere. It was
Mm.
it was coming through the screen. They even had the coach singing at halftime, providing the entertainment. So it was a vibe. It was buzzing. The place looked like it was
Yeah,
rocking.
yeah, yeah. It looked like it was, and what? Credit to the support. Obviously, we knew it's a big one. New Zealand is always big, and the hometown support is always going to be there, and it's going to be a bit too much for them, especially because there's no more Super Rugby, so they've forgotten what it's like to be in Africa. So yeah, credit to the people. But I still think this game was won. Look, it was won by sure just the intensity of the box. It was just they were focused. They did take it up another level, yes, and they managed to execute. Although I'm not particularly happy with the level of execution because we should have put more points on those guys on Saturday. I think we left a bit too much on the table. But we're getting there, in terms of that game plan evolving where now we're playing more phase and ball in hand, and again, the contestables are there. Look, the base of the game plan is still there with the contestables, but what you're seeing as well is
Yes.
that extra dimension, and that's what we've been calling for, is that extra dimension.
If we take it even to the lineups, Arendse comes in.
Mm.
Good decision, albeit red card and suspension. Good,
Yeah,
arguably one of the best players on the pitch there. You have Fissa,
mm.
you have Marks getting his 50th test, and like I always like to say,
Immense.
occasions are meant to be ruined, but for him, he took thorough control of it.
Yeah,
Going back to the contestables, lineouts were great.
yeah,
Scrums, Malherbe is really he's that guy. He's that guy.
he
Even
is.
the aerial battle. We saw how many times we see Mapimpi, Arendse getting up. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe it was so. I think it even bleeds over into that red card when it's like the over eagerness to have those contestables, and I felt like
yeah,
that's one of the things that won them the game. The other part of the one thing game is that the All Blacks just had no go forward. They were just lateral.
no,
They had no rhythm, especially second half being stop start. They couldn't get anything going.
yeah.
Uh, Scrum
They,
time, they
they're a
had
mess.
nothing,
They're a mess. They just don't have the right combinations in play. And
especially the centers.
yeah, they just don't have the right combinations in play. Honestly, even the loose forward
Mm.
combination is not good. They haven't found the balance up front, at the front row as well. It's they're just in disarray, and we need to capitalize. The Boks really need to capitalize, going into this coming weekend, because yeah, fine, we didn't really put them to the sword, but Australia managed to get a bonus point away.
But it was thoroughly convincing.
Yeah, okay, no, for sure. It was convincing. Maybe I'm nitpicking, because, there's a few aspects, you mentioned Jasper Visa, like, okay, fine. Yes, he's good, and he gives work in terms of his carries. But, I felt especially then the first half of the base, his starting point is always too lateral as opposed to, forward, and then changing the line of attack towards the 10. So it's already too lateral, and he's not getting the go forward that I personally would like to see from him at 8. With that explosiveness to actually get us on the front foot and allow us to play off there. But yeah, I in my view, I just honestly believe this Bok team can actually get better.
Yeah, no, they can. They can, definitely.
That bothers me the most, in a good way, is that this team has got the capacity to actually really, really, truly dominate, with just the personnel, the age group that they're at, and the guys that they managed to bring through, just the overall structure that they've got. I think now's the time. And yes, it's a good win, good start, but I would like to see us, really put the foot on the throat on these guys, really put them in ICU of rugby,
Yeah, I think going into next week, obviously the All Blacks, they're going to try and pivot and try and shake things up, and I feel that could leave them even more vulnerable. But yeah, Boks, I'm personally I'm happy. The only thing is, obviously, the try did come from, again, defense suffocation. It was all about offensive defense.
Yeah,
and maybe we do need to be a bit more direct and a bit sharper in terms of attack. But personally, I'm not complaining. And also, I didn't expect the All Blacks to be this bad.
Yeah, I honestly also didn't. Geez, even the try that they scored, just sheer luck. Even right at the end. I mean, Damien Willemse, what a player, what a season he's having, or what a year he's having, actually. And just the guts, and the determination to get back. You can't ignore that. I believe, for me, that officially stamps him down as our number 15 first choice. If you look at that phase of play again, okay, fine, you credit the guys for getting back there, getting to those positions, but let's say Pollard makes that tackle stick against Frizzell, Frizzell doesn't get that momentum going forward. It delays the scoring opportunity a little bit more. Maybe they make a mistake because they were making mistakes all night, and we keep them scoreless, which I think we're very much capable of doing coming up in the second test. I think we've got them on lock defensively. It depends on what they'll do with their selection, because we saw Ardie Savea is always dangerous. Caleb Clark is dangerous as well. We saw Will Jordan has the potential. I mean, that ankle tap, to talk about a few seasons go by, that All Black player gets that break. 9 out of 10 times it's a try. This time around, they don't have that luck anymore. They don't have that thing anymore, man. They don't. They really don't have that thing. So we need to keep that jersey away from them,
Yeah, looking towards that next game. Bok changes. Bongi comes in. Mark's good game. Not too sure what this is. I think he also, when he went off, he looked like he was a bit hurt. Not too sure. Trev, I think he's out of the matchday squad. Oxen, I don't know. I saw a few people saying Trev didn't have a good game. I thought he was, good enough.
I thought he was good enough as well. I can't really complain about his performance. I mean, everybody in that team, you can't really point a single somebody out.
But there's also an Ox hive. There's also an Ox.
Yeah,
he's got the Kral. Yeah, there's also an Ox Kral. So the support's going to be behind him. Vermeulen returns. Even more problems for the All Blacks.
I think interesting in the sense that, I think it shows how the Boks want to make it to two in a row. Bringing Vermeulen in. We must definitely expect a big one, and then Jasper to come off, and he must also now. I think the platform will be laid for him when he comes on to really maybe then he can actually have his way, but we'll see how it goes there at 8. But you can't really complain with the pack, Oxen Bongi coming in, it's really like, you're spoiled for choice, at hooker, and the front row in general spoiled for choice. It's just in the back division, which we will get to, where
Colby obviously out, Arendse suspended. It leaves us with Jesse Creel coming back into the squad, unfortunately. JK, because it's just jokes, that guy, when you watch him play.
Just kidding.
He's unserious, just kidding. I don't know, that guy, I will always say we're picking him out of position when every year South Africa has wingers that, they really step up. I mean, credit to Kane and Moody coming into the ball camp, but
yes,
I mean, it would be too soon to throw him in there, but for me, I'm always going to feel like it's not a position that we're lacking in, so we should. Fassi, there's also the Church of Fassi is also talking about why he hasn't been called up. He's been out of favor. His form hasn't been great, but you would expect that. You'd expect that he might have even came in when Colby went out. So I mean, it's a bit tricky there.
It is tricky. I think with Fassi, the thing is, I don't think he's really a winger. I think as much as he's
but
good, he can play there. But if and you're rightly so, if you had to pick between him and Creel, I would rather go him on the wing, and because what are you really losing outside of experience? You're actually gaining more because he's got more X factor than Creel, yes, and there's no better environment than to test him to really see, what he's really made of, and you give him a crack at the All Blacks, because we know these games, and we know the second test is probably going to bring in it's going to be much closer, I think, maybe than the first game. In terms of the attack, I think there's going to be more try scoring opportunities, and Fassi would have, I think it would have been good to see him in there as opposed to Jesse Creel, because look, we know that he'll give you, Jesse Creel he's a soldier, he'll do the job that he's asked to do, nothing more, he'll do the job that he's asked to do, and that's all that the coaches ask. He doesn't pick himself, so so with Fassi, I think there is grounds to say let's see him some more, because on the other hand, you can argue Kurt Lee got that look in, and it's a pretty big test, and Fassi's got more caps, so what does that say about the picking order? Is he fallen out of favor? What's going on? I can see why, because
even Spoon Kosi, if we're gonna really talk, even Spoon Kosi. So I mean, I know he's coming off injury, but you'd think that these are next man up. That's what you would think.
And even I think even at 9, I'm glad Jaden Hendricks had a very good game. I think he's shown that he's comfortable at test level. I think I increasingly was worried even in that game with his boss kicks. I saw that there was a charge down coming somewhere there, and it did come. So I think if you can just sharpen up just a little bit on that, and I think we mentioned it at the back end of that Welsh series, that he can only get better, and he is showing that improvement. So credit to him. But at the same time, I would have loved to see Grant Williams at least come on the bench.
Even at wing, he's been playing at wing. I wouldn't have been opposed to seeing him on the wing. If we are gonna talk scrum halves, Herschel is now on the bench. Yeah,
Herschel's now on the bench. He's now, obviously the pecking order has changed because Jaden Hendricks he's come in and he's made a statement. But we're not saying that caps should be just given away, but on the basis of what we've seen, the glimpses from a guy like Grant Williams, I mean, we've seen what Herschel can do. Let's not lie. Yes, okay, we know that. Okay, there is depth. Yes, his form isn't consistent.
We're testing players. We're at that level where we're testing players against the All Blacks.
Yeah, we need to. I mean, there's no better opportunity. I mean, look at it. If you look at it, Jaden Hendricks can confidently say he's beaten the All Blacks. Damian Willems can confidently say he's beaten the All Blacks. Visa, as a young guy, he can say that. There's guys now that are notching up that experience of, okay, we know what it's like to beat these guys, and there's no more that doubt. So, I think you'd want to have a few more of those guys having that, getting that experience of knowing what it's like. Obviously the rest of the squad knows what it's like, but not like this, and not with this sort of the opportunity that's here, at the Field of Dreams this weekend. Yeah, man, it's a chance to really put these guys away and make them really, just, you know what? They deserve it. I mean, they do.
Yeah.
When they were giving us 57-0, they didn't feel sorry for us, They didn't feel sorry. They just said, no, they'll get better, and we got better. So we need to give them the ugly medicine so that they can get better as well, because, we want them to be better as well in order for us to keep beating them. And,
I think physicality in Super Rugby, they've missed it dearly. They haven't been around. Any closing remarks? All from my side is I'm just predicting big Bok win. Sorry, I'm predicting a higher scoring. The All Blacks, they're gonna roll that dice. They're gonna be a bit more risky, but I see Boks winning a few more tries.
Big call. I'm convinced now. You've got me. You've won me over. I'm going, bonus point. I think we'll get the bonus point this weekend.
Yeah, thanks for watching Dummy Switch Pod.